Hey guys, how you doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to all those around the world. Welcome back to the Pokemon Unite video featuring Lucario here, climbing back up the Masters. Hopefully you guys have caught on to this, but if not, I'm here to show you. I'm sure some people have already made videos on it, but at the end of the day, everyone has different opinions on how this item actually works in this game. There's been a lot of testing, a lot of build choices, different Pokemon and what have you. Let's take a peek at weakness policy. Mine's maxed out at level 30, right? So I get the best value that you possibly can out of the item. What people don't realize is you stick this on any Pokemon, right? And you're supposed to get, a stacking percent increase on your damage. This stacks up to 4 times, right? And increases your damage each stack. Now, it sounds great on paper, right? But this item does a lot better on tankier Pokemon. Pokemon that have tankier items, i.e. just defender Pokemon, what have you. It doesn't do that great on, squishy targets like Gengar or like Cinderace or Greninja. Pokemon that don't have very much defense capabilities, or like I'm talking about defensive stats or HP, this item does not do that great on. So what happens is, the tankier you are, so far in my testing, my opinions right now, the tankier you are, obviously the more you survive inside of a team fight, right? So in other words, you put this on a tankier Pokemon, what happens? Their damage will increase a lot more versus the squishy, right? Now, at the end of the day, you're saying Lucario is tank, and I'm not saying he's a tank, but his passive ability, which is his shield, right, when he gets low on HP, is probably one of the best passives in this game right now. It gives him a nice old shield where you cannot burst down Lucario when his passive is off cooldown. You can't burst down Lucario with his passive and Focus Band, or Focus Sash, for example, the one that heals you when you get low health, right? The more damage this Pokemon takes, the more damage any bulky Pokemon takes, they will benefit from weakness policy. It increases their damage overall. It's actually substantial, especially on tankier Pokemon like Snorlax and what have you. Pokemon you don't generally build damage items on. This item makes up for it because it also gives you flat health and attack. It's really good on Lucario. It's really good on some other tanks like Blastoise, and you got Venusaur is also really good on. I've been running Ao's Cookie. Now, a lot of people say this item's not very good, but with Lucario, generally speaking, you run attack weight, right? You don't really need attack weight. Your job is to sit here with extreme speed and score as many goals as you possibly can anyway. So with Ao's Cookie, weakness policy, and score shield, you can do just that. No one's going to burst it down considering how bulky you are, how much health you have. On top of that, you actually get damage from weakness policy, and you're a nuisance to take down in lane. When you're partnered up with a decent Pokemon like a Wigglytuff or what have you, it's really hard to lock you down and kill you with extreme speed. But hey guys, let's get into this video. Hopefully you guys have a good time. Catch you guys in the next one. See you guys in a minute. Pawse plays out. Hey guys, how you doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to all those around the world. Welcome back to another Pokemon Unite video featuring Lucario on our way to Masters. I wanted to go ahead and talk about weakness policy, what have you, and show you guys how good this item actually is at a maxed out level. I got 4 stacks going on right now. I'm doing a lot of DPS, but at the same time, our Haunter ends up picking up these kills, which is fine with me, just because I'm here to score. I'm here to be the annoying Lucario that we all hate in lane. But at the same time, a bulky Lucario because I'm running Ao's Cookie. And for those of you that don't know, essentially Ao's Cookie stacks, it gives you HP opposed to attack damage like attack weight when you do a score. Now, you could argue why you're running that versus attack weight, right? Because a lot of Lucarios just run attack weight. Which there's nothing wrong with that. It does a lot of damage, it stacks up, it does great. But you don't need it. You really don't need it. Your goal with Lucario is to do nothing but be super annoying, run back and forth the lane and score goals. And extreme speed and juke out the enemy. Now, at the end of the day, with Ao's Cookie, I'm becoming bulkier and bulkier as long as this game goes on. Obviously, there's a cap to Ao's Cookie, but still, a lot of HP on Lucario is not something people are used to. Let alone with your passive ability, they can't burst you down anyway because you get that big old shield. And that's another reason why weakness policy on Pokemon like Lucario is very, very good. If you put this item on somebody else, like another squishy target like Gardevoir, Gengar, or what have you, it doesn't benefit them because why? They have no HP, they have no defensive abilities, they generally run all damage items. So you're kind of a wasted item on you, if that makes sense. Whereas, you could also argue, weakness policy. That was a nice steal, wasn't it? Yeah, I see you guys watching. That was pretty good. Now, you could argue weakness policy is like a 4-slot item. which means there are other items that could do Lucario well. Because generally you would run what? Razor Claw? Yes. Because Razor Claw will proc off Extreme Speed, Power Up Punch, what have you. Razor Claw, Score Shield. You can run tankier builds, but generally speaking, a lot of people like running Razor Claw now. Now, the item was not essentially in the game during release, but since it's been here, it's made Lucario into more of a monster than what he actually is. He has been nerfed a few times, but that doesn't stop his dominance when it comes to him being in lane. And I think with this build, Aeos Cookie, Score Shield, and Weakness Policy, it throws a lot of people off. You're expecting him to have a lot of burst damage and to be a little bit squishy, right? For example, you don't really run generally tank items in Lucario, but you can, and you can perform well. You're no good to your team once you're dead, right? Especially at Zapdos fight or Dreadnought, what have you. Sometimes I find it's easier to just be a little bit, bulky. That way you can stay around, you can extreme speed, you can do a lot more damage. Sadly enough, Charizard hits me with that Unite move. I think there's a lot of Pokemon in the game right now, people just decide to build one way and that's it. You know what I mean? If you don't build that way, you ain't good, or a Pokemon's not that great, or it's trash. I think people forget the fact that as Pokemon fans, as people that sit here and play MOBAs, you know what I mean, League of Legends, Dota, Han, Smite, whatever, Pokemon Unite, there's a lot of theory crafting that can be done. Now, be it we don't have a lot of items just yet, but they're definitely coming. And no Pokemon is set to one specific item build. You can do different items, you just have to sit here and do theory crafts. Whereas we're dueling with this Lucario, I'm not 100% certain what his items are, but I know he's running close combat and does a lot of damage. But at the end of the day, my bulkiness allowed me to sustain that fight and kill this man. Now you could think that if I was running different items, maybe the fight would have went differently. That's a possibility, he might have killed me. Close combat does a lot of damage, people don't realize that. But at the same time makes you stationary. And I'm sitting here trying to play with extreme speed, I can only click off of him, numerous amount of times before it goes on cooldown, so I gotta sit here and auto attack him. And with me being bulky, I was able to do that and come out on top. Regardless if he had his Unite move or not. Now, there's a lot of other Pokemon that right now that you can play like this, like Greedent plays like Lucario essentially. Now, he's not as mobile when it comes to extreme speed, but you ain't catching Greedent, especially once he picks up his COVID ability, you're not catching him. So you can run back and forth and scoring these goals and be a nuisance. I've had a lot more success when it comes to, Lucario and Talonflame. But in the same sense, a lot of other Pokemon can also do this. I've seen Wartortles do it, and Crustles do it. But I think Lucario probably does it the best just because his passive ability and the fact that he can dash on multiple targets, as long as you're not hitting the same target, twice in an instant. And I don't know how Charizard got out of there that quick, but he did. And he might have just killed me, to be fair, so I'm glad he actually escaped, because I probably just made a misplay if I went in on that. Because a lot of people don't realize Charizard is one of those Pokemon where he's being slept on. Like, I think through the whole community, outside of the people that sit here and master Charizard, sit here and main Charizard, those people know how good Charizard is, right? I think he is the only Pokemon in this game who can 1v1 any Pokemon, no matter who they are, and just win. You can argue Zeraora can do the same thing. Not really. A Fed Zeraora or a level 15 Zeraora versus a Crustle level 15, I don't think Zeraora is going to win that fight if they both have Unite move. You know what I mean? I think Charizard, on the other hand, he will. I think Charizard does so much DPS, but is just being slept on right now. I think he is probably that assassin in which can counterplay everybody else, essentially, if you build him like that. But each their own. But as you see, like Extreme Speed, Lucario, Weakness Policy, I get max stacks as I'm running around here. People are damaging me. I deal extra damage. It's not like super good, like super strong in terms of DPS, but it's the performance and the value of it working very well in Lucario versus other Pokemon. So generally, like I said, I would probably run Razor Claw, but I also like Weakness Policy. I'm not really noticing a, a disadvantage. I get you, Razor Claw gives you a slow, but you got Bone Rush, you got Extreme Speed, you got Eject Button, you have your Unite move that does 0 damage, but it gives you that movement speed. You can pretty much catch up to anyone you want to anyway, besides like Talonflame if it flies over a wall, you know what I mean? And this right here, I don't understand why I did not get another pop of Extreme Speed. I must have missed the Charizard. mean, that's only the thing that makes sense to me, but I swear, dude, I did damage to him. I don't know. It is what it is. I like to put my hat off to this Gengar right here, who's actually doing pretty well. I get a little nervous when I see other Gengar players, and I know you guys do too, especially when you see your main being played by somebody else, or your main is taken by someone on your squad. I think it's one of those, we all do it, you know what I mean? But Gengar, hats off, man. He did pretty well, he surprised me, and he's running Shadow Ball Dream Eater. Like I said, that's not an easy place out to play with Gengar right now, especially considering how squishy he is, but he's doing really, really well. Also, I like to point out our Blastoise is doing pretty great. It's about time to get a Blastoise player who's not going to sit back and not go in. You know what I mean? This one is pretty aggressive. He's been in every team fight that we possibly needed him for. And he just goes in. And I'm kind of surprised. But yeah, this is the power of extreme speed. As you see, you can essentially jump back and forth between minions. Or what do you call it? Not minions. Get that league mentality. Sorry, guys. But between the wild Pokemon. Essentially, yeah, Lucario is Yasuo from League. Just better. Like, just overall better, in my opinion. But each their own. But hopefully you guys do try this out. This has been getting me a couple success games with Lucario. I'm not, how you say, the greatest at playing this Pokemon, because I generally like to play Power Up Punch. So extreme speed is one of those ordeals where if you have a decent team who's backing you up, it works out fine. Right? Because there's only so much you can do once you get that first goal pop. You know what I mean? Then you have to rely on your team to help win the game, because you cannot necessarily carry by yourself. But anyway, this has been Pawse Plays. Hopefully you guys do enjoy. Smash that like button, join that Discord. We will be doing group plays for ranked here soon. So keep that in mind. If I don't get a chance to add you, keep in mind we'll be doing live streams here soon as well. But anyway, catch you guys in the next one. I'm gonna head out.